Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Nathan Daley. I am your law enforcement translator. As you know, my goal and my job or responsibility is to translate some of these difficult topics involving law enforcement and just overall critical issues that are taking place in this country. Listen, shout out to my subscribers, to the new followers. Welcome to the channel. Love to have you. Make yourself at home. So, with that being said, as your translator, some call me TLO, right? The lead officer, which I'm really feeling that. So shout out to TLA. Listen, you guys, this is an interesting topic that I'm really kind of diving into. I did a video a few days ago in reference to the three friends. I call them the three amigos, right? The two brothers and the friend that actually killed their stepfather for sexually assaulting their 9-year-old sister. Now, it's tragic on a lot of different levels. I've been reading the comments. I've been hearing a lot of things, especially on YouTube, about the incident. No one, and absolutely no one, is upset about this, right? People are just like, hey, these guys did what the law was unable to do. The suspect, Gabriel, has been sexually assaulting the 9-year-old allegedly, but we do know he's a pedophile. We know that he has been arrested before for doing this as well to, I don't know who or to how many victims he may have had, but he had an active warrant for sexual assault again, previously. And then according to the DA, they said that there's a history, a pattern of this behavior. So, we don't know exactly what happened. More details have not come out yet in reference to this case that I've heard of. But the community, especially the Latino community, has been up in arms about it. I've been reading a lot. I've been translating some Spanish. I know a little bit, poquito, right? But what's interesting is that they have the support of their community. Why is that, you guys? I will say this. I have investigated sexual assault on children in the Black community, the white community, and also the Latino community as well. And listen, this is a problem that everybody shares. We know this. And it's difficult to investigate. I mainly did initial investigations on these type of crimes and then handed it over to what we call our SVU unit and Special Victims Unit. They mainly handle in-depth investigations and regarding those things where they'll have specialists to come out and investigate and interview the children and things of that nature to kind of get a better understanding as to what happened and whether or not a violation has actually occurred. I've been in the room when these investigations have happened. I've witnessed them, of course, and it's intense, you guys. It's not a joke. It's not a game. And it's sick. It's sick. And when you think about it, because you always end up putting yourself in the situation of the victim or the family members who have to witness this or be a part of it. And it's hard to deal with, you guys. So again, let me say this in all complete transparency. What the brothers did and what the friend did, I understand, right? I understand it's hard, you guys. When you're close to someone and you witness or you're a family member of a victim whose innocence has been taken, especially at the age of 9. And at the end of the day, I hate the outcome because now these three individuals, the two brothers, Alejandro, Christian, and the friend Juan. The problem is these guys, these kids, these young men are being charged with murder. Well, technically, Alejandro Trevino and Christian Trevino are being charged with aggravated assault, family violence, right? Because that was their stepfather. And they're also being charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. Why? Because they came together and they orchestrated his death. But the best friend, Juan Eduardo Melendez, he's being charged with capital murder, aggravated assault, and engaging in criminal activity. Why him capital murder? You guys, he had the brass knuckles. And I said in the previous video, if you haven't watched it yet, they organized this thing. After the third assault, they got a pickup truck. They picked him up. They assaulted him, beat him near death, put him in the truck, dumped him in a field, and a farmer found him. And when they found him, he was already dead. So, listen, this is premeditated murder. They assaulted him on 3 different occasions, you guys. They overdid it. So we're asking, okay, well, now let me preference with this. It's not legal advice, and nor am I encouraging anyone to come out here and harm someone or try to justify taking another person's life because they did something to you or someone they cared or someone you cared about. Not at all. But what happened? People were making the argument: if Gabriel lost his life under the first assault, would they have gotten away with it? I don't think they would have gotten away with it, you guys. They wouldn't have gotten away with it. But what would have ended up happening? They could have easily pleaded this was a crime of passion. They lost control, right? They didn't intend to kill him, but he died in the process. You guys, that's manslaughter. That's manslaughter. And I don't know what that charge, how long the sentencing could be for that. But let's just say they can get between 5 to 10 years for manslaughter. And I have to look up what Texas law is for manslaughter. But that's manslaughter. That's a lot better than capital murder. You're looking at life in prison. And I don't know if Texas has the death penalty, but they could have got the death penalty too. It's on the table. You know, when you start to actually orchestrate, plan, organize, structure, you know, it changes the game. No one would question their behavior and decision to assault this man out of revenge for their little sister. I've been reading a lot of comments, you guys, and on other channels, and everyone is on the same page. No one's okay with this. Why? Because children are to be protected. Someone mentioned something in the comment section, and I didn't even think about this. You know, in the midst of them carrying this out, being defenders of their sister, or would they forget to realize that by them causing this or doing this, they are now not in a position to take care of their sister or their mother. They sacrificed themselves, and now they can't even be there for the protection of their sister, nor can they be here for their mother. So this is why it's so imperative, you guys, that we don't act or respond out of emotion. You gotta be calm. You gotta be clear on our actions, our behaviors. We can't filter our anger through our feelings. This is what happens. The recklessness. No one wins, right? No one wins. And not only that, this man, though his life has been taken, Gabriel, he is possibly, we don't know who all the other victims are, the circumstances, I don't know. What we do know is that maybe those people aren't going to get justice either, or maybe this is justice for them. Maybe it is justice. So what are the people saying? The people in this country, especially in the Latino community, I've seen a lot of other people too, white and black, all supporting the idea of freeing these gentlemen. You know, they're putting a petition together on change.org. I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm so curious to see how this turns out. And they're sending this petition out for the governor of Texas. What does it say? Alejandro Trevino, 18, Christian Trevino, 17, and Juan Eduardo Melendez, 18, are facing capital murder charges for beating, killing Gabriel Quintanilla, 42 years old, after discovering that he was actively abusing Alejandro and Christina's 9-year-old sister. We asked the state of Texas to release these teenagers who could possibly spend the rest of their life in prison for protecting their sister. Now listen, it's admirable that you guys are putting this petition together. I'm telling you right now, it's Pandora's box. It's Pandora's box. We can't, on one end, talk about we don't want vigilante behavior, and then on the other hand, we allow it when it's something that is just, right? From a moral perspective, assuming allegedly this is true. We have to be careful. Why? Because everybody's moral compass is not the same. There's no way to gauge it. It's subjective. Who's right? And who should decide who's right or who's wrong? You guys, listen. This is the problem with moral arguments. This is the problem. It's subjective. It's subjective. And again, this is why we have law, right? We have law for this very reason. Because what do they decide? That when you have too many people trying to decide what's right or wrong, we get lost in the argument. We have a rule of law that we put on everyone to follow and to obey. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. Because just so easy as someone can justify lynching someone because they allegedly whistled at someone, then those people in their minds believe that they're right. Why? Because perception is reality. If you perceive that your act and what you're doing, or your faith, your religion, what you believe in, you feel like it's right, and no one else can tell you anything else. See, this is the problem. Everything is so subjective. This is why we all have to agree on a set of rules, on a set of law, and we follow them in order to create and keep out any unbalanced nuances. This is the problem, you guys, so we have to be careful. You want them freed. They cannot be freed, you guys. They can't be freed. Their punishment can't be tailored. They went too far. They went too far. They took one for the team. But it's unfortunate. I think the best thing we could do is show support. But at the same time, we also have to address the behavior. We got to address the behavior. We can't encourage this, right? Be clear, you guys. We can't encourage that. Everybody's truth looks different. And if you're not careful, their ideology starts to inspire and motivate what they believe is truth, what they believe is justice. You guys, that's a very slippery slope, very dangerous mindset to have. We need to always lean and fall back on the law. Now, if the law failed, the law enforcers are failing at their job, we need to focus on that. We need to focus on that. Where did we go wrong in that picture? What level of accountability does the family have, the mother have, right? What things can mothers do, single moms do, if they have daughters, if they have sons? What type of protection do they have? How do they vet their partners? You guys, because it happens both ways now. It happens both ways. How do we protect them? How do we protect them from predators? What types of research can they do before? I tell people all the time, listen, ladies, when you're dating someone, you need to Google them. Look them up. It's serious, you guys. It's serious. We saw what happened recently with the lady on Bumble dating a guy she only met for 3 days. Now, mysteriously, she's dead. Right? The police did a horrible job investigating. Nobody knows. We can't, the case is so tainted. We can't figure out who's lying or who's telling the truth. It's not easy out here. It's not easy out here. And sometimes it's not even strangers. It's family. Listen, this thing is interesting. You know, these are three, I say the three amigos, but listen, this is no joke, you guys. These are some really close knitted friends. Could you imagine? I had a supervisor tell me one time about friends and the power of friendship. And that a lot of people don't really know what it means to be a friend. They don't understand. They take that word so loosely, right? Friends, family, you know, loved ones and things like that. These titles are just given away to people who never earned them. You know what he said to me about friends? He said, listen, a friend will help you move, but a real friend will help you move a body, you guys. Listen, there's so much truth to that. You know, you look at how these two brothers have a situation and they call their friend Juan, and Juan helps them beat this man to death. You guys, this is crazy. This is not a game. It's not a joke. Right? It's not a joke. So again, what are we actually looking at? We're looking at three young men who decided to take matters in their own hands because they felt like if they may have reached out to the police that nothing would have been done. You guys, we don't know the backstory. We don't know the backstory. And I'm so curious to get more information as it comes out. So, you know, until then, we'll just kind of stand by and I'll keep everybody updated on this case as much as I can. But, you know, so far, again, the nation has spoke. You know, they have spoke and they are continuing to speak. So if you want to support that cause, you know, again, the petition will be in the description section from change.org. I'm curious to know what happens after this, right? So what are you guys' thoughts on this in reference to the petition? I'm curious. Do you think this will pull it off? Now, I don't. Texas is a very unique state, you guys. They're very different. Is this going to move the governor? I don't know. I don't know. But I will say this, though. These gentlemen are 18 years old. And if they're convicted, their life is over. They'll spend the rest of it in prison. If you bend the law for them, you'll be bending the law for everybody else. What do you think? At one point, again, you guys, this channel is about facts over feelings. In this moment, I'm asking you not to make the moral argument. Come out of your feelings just for a second. Should they bend the law for these gentlemen? Should they? Or do we feel bad for them because their intentions may have been good? But listen, understand this. I've been told this plenty of time in this profession. The road to hell was paved with good intentions. You guys, there's so much truth in that. There's so much truth in that. Anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe, you guys. And with that, good night. God bless.